Hi everybody, it's Seth, your Mild Mannered Mage, and it's time for another episode of Breaking Boxes. It's pre-release season, and that means it's time to visit Karlov Manor and investigate a murder with Aliquist Proft. So today we have a collector's booster box. And I really like the design on this particular one, especially how they have approached the titling of the murders at Karlov Manor. I don't know what it is. I guess because I love murder mysteries. I just watched See How They Run the other night on Hulu. I love Knives Out, The Glass Onion. On my to watch list is the new, what is that TV show that's on Hulu? Death and it's going to that's going to bother me, but anyway, that's beside the point. Anyway, the design on this box, the titling reminds me of movie posters and everything. So I really like this, the design on this. So this looks pretty awesome. So as with all of the collector boosters, this is going to be a reduced number of packs, but we're going to see more foiling, better cards, higher chance at maybe hitting a serialized card. I know there are a limited number of serialized prints being made in this set, so maybe we'll hit one. That would be fantastic. We also have some special printing being done where you can only see it under certain type of lighting, which fits very well with the mystery theme of this set. So that's pretty awesome. So I don't know. I mean, we've got some pretty neat stuff in here. So let's get into it and get into this box. Maybe I can. This is kind of loose, so maybe I can get into it without having to get something sharp, like a pair of scissors or something. I don't know. Death and Other Details. That's the name of the TV show on Hulu. It stars Mandy Patinkin of Princess Bride fame. My name is Indigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. All right, so let's get this popped open. Oof, there we go. All right. So with this set too, we see the death of the draft booster. You thought I was going to say but we do see her death. But we also see the draft booster going away. I never really did draft a whole lot, but we do see the arrival of the play booster. So I'm interested to see how that will be affect, how that will look. I do enjoy popping open boxes and seeing what that's going to look like, and whether the play boosters will be as good as the set boosters. Will they be better than the draft boosters? So who knows? So I've got our 12 packs, got 6 packs here and 6 packs here. So we are all set and ready to go. So after the break, let's start cracking some packs. We'll see you in a second. All right, and we are back with our very first pack of the murders at Karlov Manor, and let's get into it. So what cards are y'all hoping to see? What are you excited about? I was actually at my game store, and one of the guys I like to play with, he said that he's tired of seeing his favorite characters dying. He has a very powerful Teysa deck, and with her being killed in this set, he's very upset. And for her to be killed by Tristani is just kind of he's very upset. All right, we're starting it off with a detective. Into a deadly cover-up. 2 black and 3. As an additional cost to cast this spell, you may collect evidence 6. Destroy all creatures. If evidence was collected, exile a card from an opponent's graveyard, then search its owner's graveyard. Hand and library for any number of cards with that name and exile them. That player shuffles, then draws a card for each card exiled from their hand this way. With the new, what's that card? It's a green card. Slime of Humanity card. This is perfect for that in Commander. Your Rat Colony decks, Relentless Rats, Shadowborn Apostles, Dragon's Approach. This will be a good way to get rid of those cards in Commander. As you know, I'm a big Commander player. I don't play a lot of Modern, Standard, or Pioneer, so that's where I could see this being useful, but otherwise, I mean, it's okay. Audience with Tristani. Green and 2, create a 0/1 green plant creature token, then draw cards equal to the number of different named creature tokens you control. More bizarre metaphors about rot and renewal, wildly unhelpful. Okay, interesting. So that's a possible draw spell for some token decks, but you got to be having a lot of different tokens. Serene Sleuth. Lamplight Phoenix. Flying. When Lamplight Phoenix dies, you may exile it and collect evidence 4. If you do, return Lamplight Phoenix to the battlefield tapped. We'll have to find some explanation on what collecting evidence is. That's a new mechanic, and I am unsure of what it is off the top of my head. Then we've got the Hunted Bone Brute, Skeleton Beast, black and 2. Menache 6/2, that's a big boy. When Hunted Bone Brute enters the battlefield, target opponent creates 2 1/1 white dog creature tokens. When it dies, each opponent loses 3 life, and you can disguise it for black and 2. So I think you put it face down for disguise. Fanatical Strength. Faithlight. Oh, beautiful land there. Aftermath Analyst. Lightning Helix. Case of the Burning Masks. They went this way. Gearbane Orangutan. Snarling Gorehound. And a Jaded Analyst. All right, so that is our first pack. Let's move into pack number 2. These packs feel, the plastic on the pack feels a little thick there, a little hard to get into. All right, and we've got a clue token. Very nice. Okay. Oh, and I forgot to check the back side of this other token. And it is a merfolk. All right. Urgent Necropsy. And that's a mythic. Golgari 2, as an initial cost to cast this spell, collect evidence X, where X is the total mana value of the permanents this spell targets. Destroy up to 1 target artifact, up to 1 target creature, up to 1 target enchantment, and up to 1 target planeswalker. Again, we need to find an explanation of what collecting evidence does. Ooh, here's our first spy land. Elegant Parlor enters the battlefield tapped. Surveil 1. And then we've got the, let's see. This is one of those that has the hidden message, or you're supposed to be able to find the hidden message when you group them all together. Then we've got the Mob Verdict. And here's the new ley line. Ley line of the Guild Pack. Lots of colors here. Selesnya, Simic, Golgari, Gruul, and you can choose one of those colors. If Leyline of the Guild Pack is in your opening hand, you may begin the game with it on the battlefield. Each non-land permanent you control is all colors. Lands are every basic land type in addition to their other types. That seems like that could help with some mana fixing. So that could be interesting. Oh, and then talk about some guild packs. We've got our new Niv-Mizzet the Guild Pack. He is Wooburg, flying hexproof from multicolored. When he deals combat damage to a player, it deals X damage to any target. Target player draws X cards and you gain X life, where X is the number of different color pairs among permanents you control that are exactly 2 colors. So you want to run a lot of 2-color combination permanents. And he is foil and a 6/6. So he's a big chonky boy. Chonky Dargon. And then Call a Surprise Witness. Oh, that's got some nice foiling. That is an uncommon. I like that foiling though. That looks beautiful. Makeshift Binding. Oh, look at that island. I love the art on these lands for this set. Rope. The Long Goodbye. Furtive Courier. Rakish Scoundrel. Seasoned Consultant. Unscrupulous Agent. And Hotshot Investigators. So all in all, I think, we've got the new Leyline Guild Pack and the Mizzet Guild Pack. That was a pretty solid pack right there. So let's get into the next one. All right, and we've got a Thopter and a Humane is our token. Right into another spy land, Commercial District, and this is another full art one. Mountain Forest, Surveil 1. And here's our first alt art, Yaris Roar of the Old Gods, Senator Druid, 4/4. Other creatures you control have the Hostes. Whenever one or more face-down creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, draw a card. Whenever a face-down creature you control dies, return it to the battlefield face down under its controller. If it's a permanent card, then turn it face up. And I love this case note art on this card. Not foily, but still, that's pretty awesome. All right, into a counterpoint. Cryptic Coat. Artifact equipment, blue and 2. Enters the battlefield. Cloak the top card of your library. Then attach Cryptic Coat to it. Equipped creature gets +1/+0 and can't be blocked. And then you pay a blue and 1, return Cryptic Coat to its owner's hand. Okay. Simple, to the point. And then we've got a Blood Spatter Analysis for Rakdos. Enters the battlefield, it deals 3 damage to target creature an opponent controls. Whenever one or more creatures die, mill a card, and then put a Bloodstain counter on Blood Splatter Analysis. Then sacrifice it if it has 5 or more Bloodstain counters on it. When you do, return target creature you control from your graveyard to your hand. Okay, so it's just a way to recur some stuff from your graveyard to your hand. I like that. And then we've got, oh, look at that foiling on that. I like that. Dramatic Accusation. Oh, and this is just a common too with that foiling. That's pretty tight. Meddling Youths, another case art. Forest, Evidence Examiner, To a Concealed Weapon, Undercity Eliminator, Vitugazi Inspector, Sanguine Savior, Airtight Alibi, and a Goblin Mask Maker. All right. So we're getting kind of into it now. All right, so we're halfway through our first stack. Let's get into this next one. That third pack, not quite as good, but still. All right, there we go. All right. And then we've got our Detective and a Gobbo. And here we have our Massacre Girl in a foil case file. Massacre Girl, Known Killer, 2 black and 2, Human Assassin, Menache, 4/4. Creatures you control have Wither. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, if its toughness was less than 1, draw a card. So with that Wither component, you're going to be drawing a lot of cards with Massacre Girl. That's fantastic. I like it. All right, so we're going to hit our spy lands with this set. Island Mound. One of the things that I like about these spy lands, even though they come in tapped, they're searchable. Look at that. They are searchable. So that really helps. All right, into an On the Trail. And No Witnesses. 2 white and 2. Each player who controls the most creatures investigates, then destroy all creatures. So that's for our token decks. Try to pump out a lot of creatures, then investigates, then destroy everything. 10th District Hero, white and 1. Human, pay white and 1, collect evidence 2. 10th District Hero becomes a human detective with base power and toughness 4/4 and gains vigilance. Okay, I like that. Collect evidence 4. If 10th District Hero is a detective, it becomes a legendary creature named Maliva the Stalwart. It has base power toughness 5/5, and it gains other creatures you control have indestructible. Well, that's pretty cool. So you can basically level him up to be a bigger creature as you need him, and then it gives indestructible to your other stuff. I like it. Pretty cool. Then we have just a simple meta. Sherlock Holmes would approve. 2 black and 2 just to destroy target creature. Deduce into a Plains. Beautiful. Sumala Sentry. Mistway Spy. Sanctuary Wall. Nervous Gardener. Projector Inspector. Repeat Offender. And Market Watch Phantom. All right, and we're on to pack number 5. There we go. Number 5. Still looking for that serialized card. We've got a clue. And we got a knife. All right. Ill-timed explosion. Is it 2? Draw 2 cards. You may discard 2 cards. When you do, ill-timed explosion deals X damage to each creature, where X is the greatest mana value among cards discarded this way. I like that. Officious Interrogation for Azorius. This spell casts Azorius Mordecast for each target beyond the first. Choose any number of target players. Investigate X times, where X is the total number of creatures those players control. I like that. To make some clues. Yeah, I can dump some mana to make some clues. Have this out with an Academy manufacturer, and then you're going to make food and treasure at the same time. Oh, don't threaten me with a good time. I really like that. That could be a lot of fun. Take the bait. Treacherous Greed. Orzhov in 1. As an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice a creature that dealt damage this turn. Draw 3. Each opponent loses 3, and you gain 3. Okay. Gotta lose a creature, but you get 3 cards. You drain for 3, and you gain for 3. Okay. Steam Core Scholar, Weird Detective. Blue and 2, Flying Vigi. Enters battlefield, draw 2, then discard 2 unless you discard an instant or sorcery or a creature card with flying. Okay, well, that's not too bad. Oh, yeah, that's kind of a Eludie card. Not on my watch. Demand answers into a swamp. And then we've got a Killer Among Us, Vengeful Tracker, Slimy Dual Leech, Gadget Technician, Crime Stopper Sprite, Bite Down on Crime, and is that McGruff? And then Cerebral Confiscation. Okay. And the last pack, here we go. That's the last pack for this 6. Let's see what we got. Oh, if I can get into it. There we go. Another detective and a spirit. And then here's another case file, Fugitive Codebreaker. Goblin Rogue, Prowess and Haste, disguise for red and 5. This cost is reduced by 1 for each instant and sorcery card in your graveyard. When it's turned face up, discard your hand, then draw 3. Into another one, Judith Carnage Connoisseur. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, choose 1. That spell gains Death Touch and Lifelink. Create a 2/2 red imp creature token with this creature dies. It deals 2 damage to each opponent. Okay, I kind of like her. I think you could do some interesting things. Had some of your red zappy spells, give them Death Touch and Lifelink, and then also build up some imps. I think you could do some fun things with that. Eye of the Dusk Mantle. That's not creepy at all. Expedited Inheritance. Whenever a creature is dealt damage, its controller may exile that many cards from the top of their library. They may play those cards until the end of their next turn. Interesting. I would say I'd want to put that into my Prosper deck, but I need a way for my creatures to be dealt damage. There's ways to deal damage. You'd want to block with creatures and whatnot, but I don't know. Kind of interesting. I'd want to play around with that some. Oh, and then there is our new boy, Anzrag, the Quake Mole. So there are some ways now, I think, that you can go infinite combat with this bad boy. So when Anzrag the Quake Mole becomes blocked, untap each creature you control. After this combat phase, there's an additional combat phase. You pay 3, 2 red, 2 green, must be blocked each combat this turn if able. His claws tear at the foundation of civilization. And he's foil. Look at that. Nice. Demand answers. Gleaming Gear Drake. Into an island. The Giant Weaver. Sudden setback. Not on my watch. Public thoroughfare. Unauthorized exit. Griffnaut tracker. And Offender at Large. So that was a pretty solid pack because we got 2 mythics out of that pack. So that's pretty solid right there. I mean, we haven't hit any serialized cards, but we've gotten some good stuff out of this box so far. So for hanging out with me so far, here is an arena code for you. Just for hanging out. And when we return, we still have 6 more packs to go through, and they'll be waiting for us when we get back. And we are back with the murders at Karlov Manor. On this episode of Breaking Boxes, once again, I'm Seth, your Mild Mannered Mage, and we still have 6 more collector booster boxes to go with this, or collector booster packs to go in this booster box. So let's get cracking. So we are now on the first pack of this stack of 6. Let's see what sort of good stuff. That last pack, though, that had 2 mythics in it, so have to see what sort of goodness we got. So we're really hitting our spy lands with this set. I think they're doing an entire run, and I want to say we've hit at least 5 of them in different colors, so more power. And here we've got another case file. Kylox, the Visionary Inventor, blue, red, and 5 for a Vyashno Artificer, Menace, Ward 2, haste. When he attacks, sacrifice any number of other creatures and exile the top X cards of your library, where X is their total power. You may cast any number of instants and or sorcery spells from among those exiled cards without paying their mana costs. So that's kind of interesting. Otherworldly Escort into a Axebane Ferox for a beast. Death Touch haste. Ward. Collect evidence 4. Interesting. I need to find out what the collect evidence is. Delney, Streetwise Lookout. Legendary creatures you control with power 2 or less can't be blocked by creatures with power 3 or greater. That's pretty solid. And then, if an ability of a creature you control with power 2 or less triggers, that ability triggers an additional time. I like that. That's pretty good. Pretty good. Into another Demand Answers. Wisp-Drinker Vampire. Into a Plains. Sample Collector, Convenient Target. Fester Leech. Pick your poison. Due Diligence. The chase is on. And a Rot Farm Mortipede. All right. Pack number 2. Let's get there. Okay. Another detective into a Spider and a Tristani of the Three Whispers. So we're hitting all the mythics this go around in a case file foil. Green, white, and Selesnya For a 4/4, pay a green and a white. Target creature gains Death Touch. Green or white, target creature gains Vigi. White and 2, target creature gains Double Strike until end of turn. That's pretty awesome. I like the art on that as well. Pretty awesome. Into a Reenact the Crime. Exile target non-land card in a graveyard that was put there from anywhere this turn. Copy it. You may cast the copy without paying its mana cost. That's seems pretty solid. I like it. To a Havoc Eater and a Illicit Masquerade. What is this? Enchantment Flash. When it enters the battlefield, put an imposter counter on each creature you control. Whenever creature you control with an imposter counter on it dies, exile it, return up to one other target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. I like that. So that lets you basically, if a creature dies, you basically swap it with something else. I really like that, especially with a board wipe. Flash this out, board wipe resolves, and then you just dump your graveyard back onto the battlefield of whatever was already in there. That's pretty awesome. That's pretty cool. I like it. Lost in the Maze, enchantment, 2 blue X, enters the battlefield, tap X target creatures, put a stun counter on each of those permanents you don't control. Tap target creatures you control have hexproof. All right. Auspicious Arrival. 2 Auspicious Arrivals. That's kind of funny. Back to back, one is foil and one is not. Into a mountain. Greenbelt Radical. No More Lies. Exit Specialist. Crowd Control Warden. Auspicious. Is that another Auspicious Arrival? 3 Auspicious Arrivals in this one pack. That's kind of funny. Demand Answers and an Alley Assailant. All right. Pack number 3. Another Detective and Spider. Connecting the Dots. Red and 1 for an enchantment. Whenever a creature you control attacks, exile the top card of your library face down. You can't look at it. I don't like that. Red and 1, discard your hands, sack it, put all cards exiled with connecting the dots into their owner's hands. That's okay. Not a big fan of that. Vanifar Evolved Enigma, case file art, an elf ooze wizard. At the beginning of your combat, choose 1, cloak a card from your hand, put a 1/1 counter on each colorless creature you control. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Hitting all the biscuit. Oh, I like this. This is a card that I've been looking at. Descana the Rage Mother. Enters the battlefield, draw a card for each creature you control with base power and toughness 2/2. Whenever a creature you control with base power and toughness 2/2 attacks, it gets +3/+3 until end of turn. I feel like there is so much you could do with this, and it could be absolutely ridiculous. Throw a bunch of buffs in there, all the 2/2s that you could find, and I think there's like ridiculousness to be had. Maybe some tokens, bears. Yeah, I think this could be a lot of fun. Krinko's Buzz Crusher, artifact Insect Thopter, 2 red and 2. Enters battlefield, for each player, destroy up to 1 non-basic land that players controls. For each land destroyed this way, Its controller may search their library for a basic land card, then put it in onto the battlefield, tapped, and then shuffle. Relive the past. Return up to one target artifact, up to one target land, and up to one target non-aura enchantment from your graveyard to the battlefield. There are 5/5 elementals. Pretty cool. Yep. Wrong stack. Right? Yep. Wrong stack. And then a swamp. Coerced kill. So what is your all's thoughts on the bubble smuggler? I almost said snuggler. It's going to snuggle the bubbles. So what are y'all's thoughts on Karlov Manor so far? What do you think of the new mechanics of the cloaking and the collecting evidence? What do you think about the difficulties of opening these packs? Here we have a clue. And then another. Oh, look at the foiling on that. Look at that. Did you see that? Look at that. Look really carefully. Look. Tailing Judith 20. Note for Kaya 82. Stinkweed in Lavinia's pocket 12Z. Look at that. We got one of the ones where you have to have a special light. That is awesome. Oh my God. That is fantastic. That is so cool. Oh, wow. That is freaking sweet. Oh my God. Okay. I won't bore y'all with me doing that. I could do that all day. Okay. We've already talked about that card. That's pretty awesome. Yeah. Do I have... Here, I feel like that needs to go in this. I'm going to throw that in a little sleevey sleeve because I feel like that needs to be right there. Okay. Here we have a plain swamp. The Undersea Sleuth. No max hand size at the beginning of your upkeep. Investigate. When you draw your second card each turn, put 2/1 counters on him. Okay. Another Relive the Past. Unyielding Gatekeeper. Disguise 1 and a white. Disguise 1. You may cast this card face down for 3 as a 2/2 creature with Ward 2. So basically it's like a morph, and then you pay the 2 to flip it. When it's turn face up, exile another target non-land permanent. If you control it, return it to the battlefield tapped. Otherwise, its controller makes a 2/2 white-blue detective creature token. We've got a deduce, a convenient target, an island. Reckless detective, Faithlight. And then these are just all of our comments. I am still super pumped off of that. I can't wait to show some folks about that. All right, pack number 5. a doggo! We like doggos. I would have gotten that cat and dog deck if the scalpers hadn't gotten them all. Still a little mad about that. Another Spyland. I'm going to have to count up to see how many of these Spylands have been gotten that have been unpacked. Wojak Investigator, Angel Detective, White and 2. Flying Vigi at the beginning of your upkeep. Investigate once for each opponent who has more cards in hand than you. Then we've got Karlox's Volt Strider. Collect evidence 6. Becomes an artifact creature until end of turn. When it attacks, you may cast an instant or sorcery from among cards exiled with it. If that spell will be put into a graveyard, put it on the bottom of its owner's library instead. Oh, there's a regular Spyland. That's no fun. They're supposed to be full art. And then here's 2 regular on the jobs. Or 2 on the jobs, 1 foil, 1 regular. And then a plains. All right. And then last pack. Let's see if we can top that Delny. Okay, here we go. Clue. Okay, another Unyielding Gatekeeper. There's the Aliquist Prof, Master Sleuth. 1 Azorius. Vigilance when he enters battlefield. Investigate. X, white, blue, blue, tap, sack a clue. You draw X cards and gain X life. Final Ward, Phantom. Another Bone Brute. Another Lamplight Phoenix. Deadly Complication. Murder. A Mountain, and I think that is going to be it. All right, so that is all of the cards we have. So I think by far the best thing that we pulled was this Delny here with that special writing on it. That's kind of awesome. I'm a little in love with that. Just out of curiosity, well, first, again, thank y'all for hanging out with me. Have another arena code. And we'll keep that up here. I know pause is a thing, but still. Okay. I'm just curious, because I am that kind of person. How many of these did we get? Now I know I had to have skipped one. Okay, there it is. How many of these Spylands did we actually crack today? Because I feel like we got one just about every other pack. Maybe it was just me. Nah, this can't be it. Elegant Parlor, Commercial District. Is that all of them? Well, I mean, that's still a good number. 1, 2. Well, y'all can't hardly see these, can you? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Was it just 7? Let me go back and double check, make sure I didn't miss one. Okay, we must have just gotten 7. It felt like there were more. But that is, that's pretty good. Not too shoddy. Not too shoddy at all. And it's 7 different ones. No repeats or anything. So that's pretty awesome. All right, so once again, I appreciate y'all hanging out with me today as I have gone through and opened this collector booster box from The Murders at Karlov Manor. Again, here is one more arena code as our Plains Kitty Coraline comes up to join us. And she bumps our camera. So let me move this again one more time. So there we go. So once again, I'm Seth, your Mild Mannered Mage. And let's see if we can't get Coraline. And for Plains Kitty Coraline, I want to thank y'all for visiting us at the Murders of Karlov Manor on Ravnica. I hope that y'all all have a fantastic evening, and we'll see you in the next video. Good night.